Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. We just reached 44.8k subscribers. Let's get to 45k because I will be doing a special for you guys once we hit 45k and you don't want to miss it. So like this video down below and subscribe to the channel before we get started. And today we have to talk about the insane violence that's happening in the state of Wisconsin. Now, I'm going to give you some context. A lot from what we see here is there was this individual named Jacob Blake, and he was under arrest for a sexual assault warrant, I believe. He was armed with a knife. He was resisting arrest, resisting orders. He was shot and injured. He was not killed. He was injured. A lot of people are saying that he was killed. He wasn't exactly killed. And at the time, what we know, he was reaching into his car. His back was turned to the officer. We don't know yet the full details. We don't know if he was reaching for a gun. If he was reaching for a gun, I think that the shooting would be completely justified. If not, I think there's a little bit of a red flag there you could raise. Obviously, you don't want to resist arrest, but at the same time, is it really worth getting shot in the back a bunch of times for it? I don't know. That's a whole other situation, but again, police are put in a very, very tough situation in these circumstances. There was a clip, I think it was like 5 years ago or so, where you had a civil rights activist get to role play as a cop in a scenario where he had a person attacking him, and he cracked under pressure and he shot him several times. So I think that you have to kind of look at it from both sides. You can't look at it from one side or the other, but mainly we have to wait for more details in terms of for facts on racial bias in police shootings. I did cover that in one of my previous videos talking about the Minneapolis riots. I did a video on that. I believe it was well over a month or two ago. But this is not the main point here of what's happening. There are riots throughout Kenosha. Kenosha, Wisconsin is a bellwether county in the state of Wisconsin. Donald Trump won Kenosha by several thousand votes, and he was elected through the state of Wisconsin in part. And Scott Walker in 2018 narrowly lost Kenosha, and he ended up losing the state of Wisconsin. Kenosha is technically, exurban Milwaukee. It's one of those suburban type areas that kind of moved in favor of Trump, that's moving in favor of the Republicans. Macomb County, Michigan is another example, except Kenosha's a little bit farther from both Milwaukee and Chicago, which are both the big metro areas in the region. And you are seeing a lot of people just lose their minds. They're burning down police cars. They're burning down garbage trucks. Yeah, burn down the garbage truck. That's going to totally end racism. Guess what? It's not going to. It doesn't help anybody. Doesn't help the community. You're not helping anyone except making you look like a fool and helping Trump. And we're going to talk about why in a minute. But you look at what's going on. You're seeing cities destroyed. You're seeing businesses ruined. Here is a tweet here. Gravity Gaming Lounge is now going out of business because everything in the store in Kenosha, Wisconsin was completely destroyed by rioters who will not even wait for the facts of the situation before they start to burn down the country and spark a racial narrative that is not even set in stone. I've talked about why. If you look at per 100,000 stops, the shooting disparity decreases significantly between the two races. In fact, it's decreased to 0 between black and white. Hispanics, Asians, and Native Americans are shot at lesser rates than both blacks and whites, which are shot at about the same rate when you adjust for the number of stops in the same circumstances. Studies from Harvard back this up, etc. But the main point here is that you're seeing cities destroyed when people don't actually know the facts. Sean King is out there all but egging on the rioters, encouraging violence. And Tony Evers out here says, we don't have all the details, but what we know for certain is that he is not the first black man or person to have been shot or injured by law enforcement. So what we know here is we have the Democrat governor virtue signaling to the situation here. Not providing any disavowal of any rioters, as you can see here, talking about it's the state that's failed everyone, kind of giving a little bit of ammunition to the rioters. Do I think the rioters are sitting there looking at Tony Evers' Twitter and seeing what he's saying and rioting because of that? No. But what you're seeing here is a leadership that is extremely weak and is doing absolutely nothing to heal the situation here, that's only sparking up divisive rhetoric while they say Trump is the one dividing the people. It's not Trump, it's them, but that's beside the point. They're never going to take accountability for their own actions here. Constantly race baiting when we've already debunked that narrative. But whatever, moving forward, we know that the left wants a war. That's really what we see here on the streets. The left wants war. People on the right are believing that it's still a conversation. It's not exactly still a conversation. The left is out there pushing warfare. Is everybody on the left doing it? No. Are there reasonable people on the left that are willing to have conversations? Yes, but the people out there rioting, these are not people that are willing to have conversations. And people are fed up, and it shows. And it shows right here. Here are the betting odds in the state of Wisconsin. This is after the riot started. Donald Trump was previously at a 35% chance to win the state of Wisconsin before the riots and tensions really escalated. Donald Trump has gone up from 35 cents to 36 cents up to 38 cents today, and Biden's share has gone down from 66 cents to 64 cents. So Donald Trump is nearing a 40% chance to win the state of Wisconsin in the betting odds simply because of this. You saw a similar thing in Minnesota. I think Trump kind of mishandled the riot response. I think he played to both sides. But as you can see here, you look at what's going on in Wisconsin, and people are fed up, and a lot of more people are hedging their bets on a Trump victory in the state of Wisconsin. And if Trump wins Wisconsin, assuming he holds Florida and Arizona, there's virtually no path forward for Joe Biden to win the presidency. That's why Wisconsin is so important. That's why Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania are so important for Trump to hold. And people are fed up. People are fed up with losing their businesses. You're going to see lifelong Democrats that lose their businesses that kind of question. You saw what happened in Missouri with the McCloskeys. I believe those individuals were actually registered Democrats, and they had to deal with defending their property, and they were slandered by the media as a result. If you take a look at this video right here, you can kind of get a grasp of what I'm talking about, of people that are very angry with what's going on in Kenosha.
Nobody. Look what happened. It's still burning.
It's not justifiable. We have insurance, yeah, but the insurance isn't there so somebody can destroy and your things and say, oh well, there's insurance. You pay for that. You know, we pay for insurance. That causes insurance rates to go up. It's basically theft. They just stole from us. Whoever did this stole from us, and that raises the cost of everything. Cost of living goes up because of theft. Cost of insurance goes up when insurance claims have to be made.
I don't think it's justified for anyone to ruin anybody else's property. It's against the law. They're already put in prison, and or they'll have to be made to pay back what they've destroyed. Letting these people get away with this and holding the cops' hands where they can't do nothing, that's wrong. The cops need to be able to do their job.
And you're not doing this isn't going to help your cause.
And all of this stuff, it's sad stuff to see, but it's could very well help Trump win Wisconsin. And Donald Trump won Wisconsin in 2016. Here is the map in the state of Wisconsin. If we want to look at the full results, we absolutely can. This is going to be the part of the video where I do a little bit of election analysis here. And you can look at where Trump won. Trump regressed in a lot of the WOW counties here. As you can see, Waukesha, he got only 60% of the vote. In 2018, in Waukesha County, as you can see here, Scott Walker got 66% of the vote. I think Trump gains in the WOW counties. There are a lot of your, Ted Cruz 2016 voters, a lot of whom stayed home, but a lot of them have warmed up to Trump, and you can see it by them voting for Scott Walker again in the midterm election here. Will Trump get 67% of the vote in Waukesha County? I don't think he'll get that high, but will he improve on 60%? Most likely. Here is where Trump wins the election. He has to boost his turnout in WOW. He has to hold in Racine. In fact, he very may well improve in Racine if the primary turnout was any indication. He probably has to hold Kenosha. He doesn't have to. Yes, it is a bellwether, but he only won it by several hundred votes in Kenosha. In terms of the rest of the state, you look at Winnebago County, you look at the Fox Cities and Green Bay area. He has to run up the margins there. I thought that Scott Walker underwhelmed in some of it, as you can see here. And Trump has to definitely go after the Fox cities. I believe he's campaigned there. That's a good start. But this is going to be a very good indicator come election night. And if the votes start coming in from southwest Wisconsin, as well as the WOW counties, we could have a very good look at how the state's going to end up turning out. And it's these counties right here. Donald Trump was one of the first Republicans in a very long time to win Lafayette, Grant, Crawford, and Vernon County. I believe Richland County could be thrown in there. These four, as well as Sauk. I don't expect Sauk to hold for Trump based on the fact you have a lot of people from Madison moving there, and it swung hard to the left in 2018. But if Donald Trump can win these counties up here, this kind of, belt that wraps around the Madison area, that wraps around Rock County, Greene County, Dane County, and Iowa County, then Donald Trump probably has a very good shot to win re-election, assuming he does improve marginally in the WOW counties, which is what he is expected to do. The problem is Scott Walker kind of lost a lot of these counties here back in 2018. As you can see, he didn't do as well as Donald Trump did. Donald Trump did extremely well in these areas. He had a lot more rural appeal. A lot of these voters also ended up voting for Russ Feingold in the Senate election. So a lot of them could have been Evers voters that will back Trump. We'll just have to see. But the indications for Trump winning Wisconsin is do well in the suburbs and exurbs surrounding Milwaukee, if not do much better than Donald Trump did in 2016, which is a clear possibility. He is going to have to run up the margins as much as possible in the Fox cities, which is doable. Keep the margins in northern Wisconsin. A lot of these counties actually trended red in 2018. And he will also have to not lose too much in the driftless. Is the driftless worth that much in terms of the percentage of the population that lives in the state that gets to vote? Not necessarily. But if he's losing a lot of the driftless area counties, he has a lot less of a chance to win, even if he does marginally improve in WOW. So he's got to boost that turnout as much as possible, do well in northern Wisconsin, do well in the Fox cities, and try to hold on to as many votes as possible in the driftless area. Not necessarily a sure thing that he regresses completely. We'll just have to see. Is a Trump win in Wisconsin possible? It absolutely is. If you want to look at even the midterm approval ratings for Donald Trump, it was 48. Keep in mind he was at a minus 30 in 2016. Now he was at a minus 4 in 2018. The approval rating has not changed for Trump that much. He just has to get his base out to vote. In terms of a lot of the polling we've seen, from Real Clear Politics, which seems to be the most accurate in terms of omitting most of the internal polls, Joe Biden has a lead of 6.4%. That is a fairly big lead, but there's a long way to go. Biden is well below 50%. It's still anybody's game. If you remember, Tony Evers had over a 10-point lead at one point in many of the polls that were released in the summer of 2018, and he only, I believe he only won by 1 to 2%. It was only 35,000 votes. A lot of that came from a very suspicious package in Milwaukee County. Almost all of it, not the entire margin, but 30,000 of the 35,000 or whatever came from that absentee package. That's why we need election transparency. Doesn't really matter what side we're on. I think we both can agree that the votes are kind of counted in a sketchy manner. But you look at the Real Clear Politics average here, and Biden is up by 6.4. Hillary was up by 7 the moment she ended up losing the state of Wisconsin. So I think that the trajectory of the race will work in Trump's favor. I really do think he wins Wisconsin. Even in a narrow loss, he can win Wisconsin because of the way that the WOW counties are moving, and I don't really believe that he will lose too much ground in the rural areas. In terms of recent polling, the latest Change Research poll has Trump down just 4%. He's roughly within the margin of error there. And the Democrat internal poll that was aligned with the Democrat Party, at least, that had registered voters, Donald Trump was down just 6%. So he very well could be down 1 if you use the 5-point bounce for internal polling. So I think it's really anybody's game in Wisconsin, but you see what's happening with the riots. You see what's happening with the left that doesn't care. They don't wait for facts on a situation. They jump to conclusion and they use it as an excuse to push their Marxian revolution. We are seeing this happen right now in our streets in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And if Biden wins, the whole country is going to be Kenosha. That's what Trump needs to get the message across, and hopefully at his RNC speech, he will. I will be covering the RNC, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn on the bell for notifications so you don't miss my coverage that will take place after the RNC tonight, as well as the rest of the nights of the RNC. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. Become a member. Donate to the Patreon or subscribe. Star links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.